All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is House Edge Live with John from Casino Gaming Central, formerly known as ProCraps. Let's get to it here this morning. And by the way, I've got a story to share. I won't do it today. I'll do it probably maybe Friday. But one of our subscribers sent me a nice long text about what I'm about to say, which is this. We know that casinos kind of suck, right? We love them because we love to gamble and it's entertainment, whatever. But they are here to take your money. And there's a story was shared with me about a guy who they took all their money. And there's many stories like this. This guy happens to be a rich guy. So, first world problems, I guess, right? But I knew a lot of people when I was growing up in Jersey. I grew up just outside of Atlantic City. I know it was, Randall. I wasn't going to just share names. But anyway, I grew up outside of Atlantic City, as you probably all know already. And we saw it all the time. People would lose everything. And we lived in a world down there anyway, where it's a little different, right? Going back like to the 80s, 90s, Vegas was different. It wasn't as corporate as it is today. Atlantic City, a little bit of the same. You had, some corporations were in there, but really it was still individuals that kind of ran the shows down there. But in that part of the world, everybody was on like the seasonal thing. Like we had a bookstore, my parents and I. My parents had a bookstore. I was 13. And the bookstore was very seasonal, right? May, all the tourists start coming down. We'd make a bunch of money, right? Have a great summer, right? I worked in restaurants growing up in addition to working at the store, right? Busy, making a ton of money. And then September, the world shuts down, right? Nobody comes down, vacations stop. It's too cold to go to the beach and you lose all your business. So from like September to May, most businesses struggled. All businesses struggled. At least we had cigarettes and cigars and magazines to sell. So we were still kind of a shop, but in those days, the business owners had to make it through the winter somehow. And so many of them, and I'm talking about when you go to like the Wildwood Boardwalk or the Atlantic City Boardwalk or these little tiny shops, all these owners had nothing all winter long. And if they didn't budget themselves with their summer earnings, boy, they would starve to death in the wintertime. And the casinos just, come on. We got Patti LaBelle coming in. We got Count Basie coming in. We got Bill Cosby coming in, right? Come on, see him for free. Right? Make the wintertime not suck so bad. And here you go. And these guys would lose their businesses. And you'd see the same store every year would all of a sudden be gone the next summer. Like the t-shirt shop that was next to us changed hands 4 or 5 times. Why? Because the casinos would take all their fucking money. That's why. They're jackals in that respect. They don't care when it ends. It ends when you stop coming. And when you stop coming, it's probably because you're out of money. That's the business model. Right. So don't forget that. And like I say, every single day, I know that it gets a little bit rote, but this is true. You have very little tools to fight them with. You don't have the kind of bankroll that it takes to get rid of them or to survive them. And even if you did have the bankroll, they cap your bets. So you can't get past a certain point. There's no way to beat them. And if there was, of course, you'd be banned. So you use things like managing your money correctly, bankroll management, right? Taking care of your own risk profile, identifying when it's time to keep playing or stop playing, right? Having discipline to make good decisions, right? Getting in and getting out. That's the biggest thing is getting in and getting out. If you don't have discipline, you can't survive that place. You just can't. And like I said, in Atlantic City, it was different than Vegas is more of a destination. Nobody's coming to Atlantic City to gamble for a vacation anymore. Used to be, they would. Not anymore. Nobody's going to AC for the experience like they do in Vegas. It's a whole different ballgame over there. So, and I think Lou and the guys on the AC crew can back me up on this. That's just not that kind of a town. It's just not. It used to be when I was a kid. It ain't anymore. And so you have to kind of bring that in. So when I give you information or you're watching other YouTube channels, please filter it with this lens, right? Would I actually play that? Does that make sense for me? Do I love what I'm seeing? Do I understand what I'm seeing? This is the filter. So take everything you see here from me and everybody else with a grain of salt and go through it that way. All right. So looking ahead here, just a quick reminder of our weekly schedule, not mine, but the world's weekly schedule, right? We have CMJ, Joe, every day, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 after 1 every other Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern PM, or sorry, 6 o'clock PM Eastern time every other Thursday. Full of Chips every Monday at 6 a.m. in the morning. They drop their recorded podcast. You can listen to it on the way to work. Color Up every Sunday. There are others. Brian Hawaii Crap Shooters has a Sunday tournament. George from CY goes live twice a day, it seems like. And by the way, I know that Cyprus had some issues with the Iran stuff last night. I was watching the news, and they called Cyprus out a couple times for some bombing. So prayers up to George. Stay safe over there, my friend. But yeah, George goes live constantly. And again, these guys they're just filming themselves working their tosses. How beautiful is that, right? I love Joe because I'm trying to think of stuff to say. Joe's just working. Joe's just putting in the blue collar work to get his toss better and just filming himself doing it. And so does George. There's just a beautiful calmness to that. I think they deserve your eyeballs for sure. So, all right, what's buzzing? Anything happening in the world right now? I'm not going to talk through the politics of stuff, but things are happening, of course. The big thing in our world is the Shooters Tournament has started. It started on Monday. I think signups are closed right now. They may take a late signup, but signups are effectively closed. The hosts are now starting to film. So as I get the schedule, I'll post up here who's going today and tomorrow, and I'll try and put the results up. I'll probably just do a little screen every day that kind of shows the results of where people stand in this thing. George has got, George from CY's got a big spreadsheet that he keeps all this stuff in. And I'll try and share that the best I can so y'all can see who's doing what in the tournament. So just kind of keep your eyes peeled here every day. I'll give you the update. And if you can watch, right? It adds pressure. So the guys that are shooting, in the most cases, they got their wife holding their phone. Like, it's like not like a professional thing, right? And they're nervous, and they got, 9, 10, maybe 20, 40 people watching them. It's good to add pressure, right? You perform under pressure, you can perform. I think it's a good thing. So definitely when we start getting these things published and they're going live, watch it. Oh my God, look who's here. Jeff, good morning, my friend Jeff. I hope you're doing, I owe you a phone call too, pal. Hope you're doing well. All right, here we go. Let's jump into our first, or I guess this segment that I'm going to start today. Again, like yesterday, we did, yesterday I did a thing. What did I do yesterday? We did, wasn't Truth or, anyway, ABCs of Craps. I'm going to try and do these like ABCs of something every day. I'm going to do this segment here, what I'm going to show you in a minute, maybe every day, and a couple little quick hitters. But I want to know, as a way of kind of reviewing strategies or reviewing channels or reviewing whatever I feel like reviewing, whether you dig it or dog it. And what I'm going to do is present to you things that are whatever. It could be a strategy, it could be an opinion piece, it could be something, but I want to know your opinions in chat and in the comment section here after the show, whether you actually like what I'm showing you or whether you hate what I'm showing you. And today we're going to work a little bit of a strategy. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's not really a strategy. It's more of a play. So let's get to the table here, and let me get the mouse out of the way, and let's do a little dig it or dog it. And this is going to be a ladder system, and you can play these anywhere. What I'm going to show you today will be done on a craps table, and I'll probably do it in the field just to get fast resolutions, but you can run this really anywhere. And just to show you what I'm going to do, I'm underfunded a little bit. So this is going to be a ladder starting at level 4. And what I mean by that is this. I'm going to grab my purple chips, and we'll do it with purples, but I won't even have enough to do it. But here we go. Here's the purple chips. We're going to start a ladder, and this is going to be a negative ladder, and we can do it a couple of ways. At level 4. So you're going to start at level 4. Why start at level 4? That's the first question. Well, you start level 4 because if you win early, we want to win some money. If you start a ladder at level 1, like a lot of people do, and you win that first bet, well, congratulations, you won a unit and you're same betting. If you win 2 in a row, congratulations, you win a unit, you're same betting with 2 units in profit. Now, again, don't get hung up on the purples. It's just, I have a stack handy. This could be dollars, $5, whatever. If you start this at level 4 instead of level 1, okay, the rule of a ladder is up when you lose, down when you win. So if you win an early bet at level 4, you win 4 units and you have room to come down a level. And you can bring back a unit in profit plus your original bet, and you're in good shape. Now, you're in the same spot as you would have been if you had just started with one. You have a unit in profit. You're in the same spot, essentially. But if you catch 2 in a row, you win 3, you can still come down to 2. And now, my friends, you have 5 units in profit instead of 2 like you had before. Okay? You win the second bet, room to come down. You win the last bet, and you're home free. You catch 4 in a row to start the day. Congratulations. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units in profit with a nice little streak to start the day, right? Plus your money back. That's a beautiful way. That's why I like the 4-unit ladder, because I can ratchet myself down. Now, ladders are great until they aren't great. Let's talk about the bankroll needs. So when you're doing a ladder like this, you got to consider what's the bad side. Now, if you want to just do that, by the way, let's say you want to say, I'm going to try that 4 times. And if I lose, whatever, that starting 4 times, you can budget for that. You can say it's whatever, 16 units. But if you're going to do a real negative progression, it looks like this, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You lose that. You would go up when you lose. So it's a 5-unit bet. And I'll spread this out for you in a minute. You lose that, it's going to be a 6-unit bet. So 1, 2, 3. You go to 7 units. You go to 8 units. And your last one, I'm out of purples, will be a 9-unit bet. I'll use blacks for that, right? So you're going to start here. You can lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. Any more than 6 levels, you're really pushing your bankroll limits. At this stage, the bankroll that you need is what? Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 units. There's 10. There's 15. There's 20. There's 30, 25, 30, 35, 39 units, 40, effectively 40 units. So to go to level 6, you need 40 units. At quarters, that's $1,000. Okay. At blacks, obviously it's 4K. So a negative progression, figure out your potential loss before you get started to know where you're going to go. Now I'm going to play this today underfunded. We're going to use $500 in greens because that's what I have handy. I have enough green chips to kind of let us run this thing. And here's I'll put my bank over here in the back. And I'm just going to roll some dice. We're going to go ahead and play it out. I'll do a little bit of a field version of it, and then I'll do a pass line version of it, just to get a sense of the rhythm of what a 4-unit ladder looks like and feels like. And what I'll do in my rack, actually, we're going to set the rack up in a way that kind of matches this. So we're going to go 4 units first. I'll put it over here. 4 units here. Then we'll do 5. Then we'll do our 6. And then we'll do our 7. There's 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Okay. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. Did I get this right? There's the 7. Goes in the back. All right. There's 7. We can probably force 8 units. We'll do that. We'll do it. We'll go to level 4. We'll do an 8. We'll go up to 8. We'll lose. We'll let ourselves lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We won't go to level 9. We'll just go here. Okay. And there we go. If we can replenish our rack and put our profits over here, we'll know where we are. So again, this is about bankroll management. This is about money management. This is about knowing where you are. And at some point, you can decide to be satisfied. The goal is to get to 0 on the table. Here we go. First one. We're going to go 4 units on the field. And again, this is going to go quick. You people who think you can bet the field, either I'm going to make $1 million here today, or we're going to lose our ass in 3 seconds because the field's volatile. We'll do the same thing here on the pass line once I finish it, but I want you to see the rhythm first. And again, this could be baccarat. This could be red and black, high, low, odd, even, and roulette. This could be blackjack. Whatever your 1-to-1 bet payment is what this could be. So I'm going to do it on a craps table, but again, this style of betting can work anywhere. Matter of fact, you can do it on a number if you wanted to. You can bet $100 on the 5 and have your ladder be just one number on the box and go 5 units, 6 units, and you take your first 5 bet and you come down. All right, here we go. Let's work the field first. I'll get my Yahtzee dice out and we'll just roll these guys. I could use my dice. I'm going to use the dice popper. Dice popper is way more fun. Let's do that. Let's do the popper. And I think you can probably see, I'm trying to get to where it's like got a, there you go, that's better. It's got this like really bright metal bottom to it that shines the light. Here we go. You ready? Bam. We got a 10. So we catch a 4-unit win. We're going to regress by a unit. What I'll do is I'll put the 4 units back. So my bankroll is back where it was. Again, I use lammers to separate my chips so I can see where I am. I'm back to square. I got a unit in profit. I got 3 units out here. If $100 is okay with you, then get out, right? We talk about this being all the time. If you're satisfied with where you are, run for the hills, right? I'm going to show you the full progression today, but you run for the hills. Here we go. We're at 3 units. Let's get a second one in a row, huh? We got a 5. So we lose our 3-unit bet, which sucks. Start the progression back over. Grab your 4 units. Come on back out. This is still sitting here, right? We'll replenish our rack as we go, but we still have that 1 unit left over from before. Here we go. We got a 7. We lose the 4-unit bet. Now we're going to come out with a 5-unit. I think my stacks are messed up. This 5. Yeah, my stacks are jacked up. Hold on. I did this wrong. This should be 5. That one should be 6. That one's set. There we go. Now it's right. Okay, here we go. 5-unit bet. Another 5. Cool. My 5 play would have been great, right? Now we go to 6 units. I love the field. The field is the best demonstrator of never to play the field ever. There's a yo 11 yo. Great. We're going to win 5 or 6 rather. Come down and go rebuild the rack. So again, we're going to put 6 units up here and we're building back to our 5 and our 4. Let's catch it. A 10. That's great. We're going to catch a 10 or a 5-unit win. We're going to regress back down to 4. There's our 5. And there's 3 units back towards being correct in the rack. We need 1 more unit here to show some profit. Let's go. We need a good win. A 7. And there's the field again. So back up to 5 we go. A 6. We need our 6-unit bet. There it is. I'm going to move these over here in the front. You can tell with your lammers, by the way, how many times you've lost what you're looking for. There's an 8. All right. Now it's a 7-unit bet. And it's a midnight. I'm only going to pay double. I know my table says pay triple. I'm going to pay it double. 90% of tables out there pay double. I'm going to pay it like most tables do. The field does give you the bonus, which is kind of nice. Blackjack does have a blackjack. Once in a while, you'll get 1.5, right? Which is also nice. So we'll take the bonus bet for what it is. Let's rebuild our rack. We'll go down by unit and rebuild the rack. So there's going to be a 3, 6. There's a 5. Hold on. I'm sorry. That should be 7, not 6. 7, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Now, I've got money out here. I've got 7 or 8, 7, 6, 5. My next one should be 4. If I put 4 in there, by the way, I have 2 units in profit. So guys who run ladders, Waylon, I'm talking to you, will tell you all the time, make sure you know where you are. Because right here, it feels like I'm down, right? Actually, I had 2 units right there. Feels like I'm down. Actually, they were out here. Feels like I'm down, right? It feels like oh my God, I'm missing my racks upside down. In fact, you're 2 units in profit at this point. You could reset and start over. Or you could leave the 6 out there and work your way back down again. You have the options when you're playing ladders, how to handle the situation. But right now, you're technically up. So when you're playing a ladder, know your position. Okay, we're going to try and work this thing down to 1 if we can. But you're technically up right now and could restart the ladder or walk with a 2-unit profit after having been all the way down to here. Your call. But know where you are. Okay, let's play it out. Let's play the full thing out just to kind of get a sense of it, but heed my warning. That 12 is a big one. Okay, there's a 4, which is fantastic. Now we're going to catch that 6-unit win. We're going to regress by a unit. Let's rebuild the rack. There's our 4 units back. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units in profit. Today, the field won, right? We're out of here with an 8-unit profit, and Bob's your uncle. So that was a good demo, actually. We had this scary part. We worked our way back. You're honest about where you are in the rack. You hit some kind of a goal, you can be done. Ladders don't always have to go to zero. It's nice when they do, right? Get down to that same bet part. But starting in the middle gives you a way to kind of regress down. Our first one did that. All right, let's play it again. We'll move those over here. And we'll do it again. We'll do it with the pass line this time. We'll just do a simple pass line ladder. Okay. So again, we'll start with 4. I've got 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the rack here. We can go 5 losses. Here we go. Coming out. We got a 9 for the point. There's our 9. Just rock the point. No odds. Just 9 or a 7. There's a 6. 4. 4. 4. Wow. 3 4s in a row. Can you imagine that? And there's our 7 out. So we lose that. Come out with a 5. Puck is off. And here we go. A 3. That sucks. Out with 6. My goodness gracious. How about the pass line getting crushed, right? There's our freaking 9 from before, right? Let's do it. A 7. Woo, baby. Pass line's doing worse than the field did, huh? Here we go. Puck is off. Can we crawl out of it? There's a nice little win right there, huh? That'll be a 7-unit win. We'll come down to 6. Rebuild the rack as we go. There's our 7. Let's do it. Come out 7. Another come out 7. Pass line giveth, the pass line taketh away. Go down to 6. And again, we're going to rebuild our rack. There's our 6 unit. 2 towards the 5. And again, we're almost back to where we could call this even again. A 4 is the point. We know we can roll 4s, right? 11 yo. A 7 out. That was a 5-unit bet. So we're going to come out with 6. Here we go. 7 on the come out. Come out roll. Okay. Regress down. There's our 6-unit bet. And look at this. We're making ground. Every time we win, we make some ground. There's our 5-unit bet working its way back. Still working on the come out. It's a 5. It's our first 5, I think, right? A 3. Oh, it's a 5. It rolled over to a 5. That's perfect. It's going to be a 3. There we go. Down by a unit. There's our 5. There's our 4. Rack is back to square one, even with all the losses, and we have 4 units in profit. Now let's try and get a couple more wins here and stuff the rack, but right now you've got a 4-unit profit. You could be satisfied and run like hell if you wanted to. Here we go. Coming out. It's a 9. Come on, 9. Make her happen. 6. 6. 6. My God. 8. I got to keep it still. It keeps bouncing around on me. 8 again. 5. Come on, 9. 7. Ugh. Took our profit, gave it right away. I'm going to go ahead and take the 5-unit bet out of the middle there. Buck is off. 8 for the come out. That's perfect. Let's rock an 8. A 7. We're going to do this again, aren't we? There's our 6-unit bet. Ladders are fun, aren't they? 6 is the new point. We hit the 6. Regress by 1. And again, we'll put our 6 units back. We'll put our 5 units back. We can put our 4 units back, and we have a unit in profit. So even though we lost a couple times, we're still in good shape, okay? But we're at level 5. Let's rock level 5. And here we go. A 3, of course. Here we go. We'll just play this for a little while longer. There's a 6. 3. Hard 6. Nice. Here we go. Regress to 5. That makes our 6-unit bet solid. That makes our 5-unit bet solid. That makes our 4-unit bet on the way. And again, if we pull this back, the rack is right, and now we're up 2. As you come down the ladder, by the way, you're always winning a unit. You guys should know that, right? Let's go back to 5, right where we were. Let's go. Puck is off. We have a 9. 7 out. We're just gonna bounce around. It's a 6-unit bet now. 5 is the new point. Aces. 9. Of course, there's the 9, right? 3, 5. Awesome. Where are we at? We're going to go to our 5-unit bet. We're going to put our 4-unit bet back in the rack, and look at that. Now we're actually playing with profit. We're playing with 3. Isn't that great? We have a 3-unit profit. Our rack is right. We can keep the ladder progressing from this point. Yeah? Let's go. New point's 9. We repeat the 9. 3-unit win. Down to 1. 4 units locked in profit. No matter what happens here, we're going home with that. I will show you an option to ratchet it up, though. 2 units down here. It's a 7 on the come out. We can regress by 1. We have our last unit out here, and it's a 7 winner. So we walked all the way down the ladder, okay? And we got our 8, 9 units in profit. We worked all the way down the ladder and rocked the 9-unit profit. How cool is that? Now, what you can do is a ratchet system. So you can take this, okay, and say, look, we're going to lock up, let's just say $100, or we'll lock up 5 units of it, never to be touched again. You could restart the process, okay? Maybe take one of these quarters and make it look like nickels, okay? 5 nickels. We'll get rid of that quarter. And now do the exact same thing, but with $30 units instead of $25 units. Take the win, which is not huge, but ratchet up your base. You don't have to double your base. You can ratchet up to go 30. And so these are 30s instead of 25s as you go through. If you make the process happen again, you have an extra 9 red units as part of your win. Okay. If you do it again and ratchet it to $35, you can kind of follow the math here, right? That's the idea. So you can make a ladder work and then use your bankroll as leverage to ratchet back up again. So that's what a ladder starting from the middle looks like. Because you can go down to the base to 1 unit and win the 1 unit. You know you're going to be 9 units up when all is said and done. That's the idea behind that. Instead of just same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet, you would have had 4 units in profit at the end there. We actually more than doubled the profit by starting a little bit higher and having room to run coming down. So what I want to know from you all is this. Let me go back to the other screen. Where's my mouse? Do you dig it, or should we dog it? Do we like playing that way or not, right? This has got, to me, a better version of the standard ladder by starting in the middle instead of starting at 1. Tom Market all the way down is a grind, right? It's a gift horse if you can get it done. But again, if you think about, let me come back to this other view here. If we think about it, when I do these parlays, right? For example, the 1-3-2-4 parlay. Okay, a 1-3-2-4. You're at risk for the first unit. You get a win. You put a second unit out. You're at risk for 2, right? If you catch the 3 and the 4, you win how many units? 10. And your risk level is those 2 the whole time. This one here, if you put out 4 units, much bigger risk on the outset. After 1 hit, your risk is 0. Matter of fact, you're in profit. So you're shifting your risk here to the first roll in a 1-3-2-4 or in a parlay. If you're going to go a 3-leg parlay, your risk is there the whole time. Your 1 unit or 2 units of risk is alive the entire way through. This one, if you happen to catch the win on roll 1 or roll 2, you're going to be out with profit quicker. So your risk time is a lot less, although it's more. Remember what I told you before? You can optimize your play for exposure, how much money you've got, or for time, how long your money's going to be out there. It's impossible to optimize for both. You can't have a tiny bit of money and a tiny bit of time and make any actual profit. You can't. There's a ratcheting system there, right? So you either have to have more money for less time or less money for a whole lot of time, which means you got to win 10, 15, 20 times in a row, which is hard. So you got to, where do you want to optimize is the question. All right. So that's that. There it is. We got our first dig it. That's great. First person says dig it. I can't wait to see the comments after the show. How people really feel about it. So anyway, that's dig it or dog it. I'm going to do this once a week or maybe once a day. We'll put some strategies, or I may do some clips of other people's shows and just ask you if you dig it or dog it. We can do this probably in 5 or 10 minutes most days. Today, I wanted to take a little bit extra time. And I guess the other thing is this. Would you like to see that in a longer run, or just have me show it to you like I did today? Just show it to you, run it a couple times and be done. Jeff said, oh, that's interesting. You're like, dig it, but with a box number. And I think actually all these things work with box numbers. Let me, can I just show you real quick? I'm just going to run down here. I'm going to get to the table view one more time and just kind of give you a sense of what that looks like for some of these things. And it's kind of cool. If we take a box number, let's just say it's the 5 or the 9. We'll take the 9. Now, the 4 or 10, by the way, a crazy town, but let's just take the 9 as an example. Okay. If the 9 at a 4-unit bet, and again, I'll do it with the greens because I don't want to do too much color mixing. But 100 wins 140. Okay, so if you win 125, 140, we'll put it over here. There's your 140. Okay, 125, 140, and you come down a unit. Okay, your actual profit here is this. You're actually up. There's your 100. You're actually up $65 because the payment's different, right? When it's not a 1-to-1 payment, the whole landscape changes, which is fantastic. If you happen to get a second 9 before the 7, okay, 75 wins 105, and you come down. All of this, by the way, goes to Profit Town. Okay, your profit after 2 9s is 100, 175, 195, almost $200 in profit. Okay. Now again, you started with $100 in risk. So if you lose that, right, it's going to take at least 2 to get yourself back. Know that, right? If you lose the first 100 with a 7, you got to pull the move off at least twice to get there. Okay. Now, if you hit here at 50, it pays 70. You can say 75 for 5 and come down a unit. And now where are we? 1, 2, 75, 290. In profit. If you catch that third one for $35, or your fourth one, and you're done, those 5s become a green chip, and you're up $350. That's not too bad on a box number, right? Now, if it was a 4 or 10, you pull that move off, you'd be a hero. But look at that, $350 on a number is not bad if you can catch them, right? If you can catch that little weird run that sometimes happens, even on the first hit, you're in good shape. The first hit, you're in great shape. I think it's cool. I think it's an interesting thing, right? And I think anything works that way. You want to try this? Watch this one. There's the 9. There's a 1-unit bet, right? And it pays $35. If you drop the quarter and pocketed the $10, you're at a $75 bet. 1, 3, right? You got $10 of your first 25 back in the rack, by the way. You're only in this thing $15 right now. So the 1, 3 with the $15 risk, check this out. That pays $105, right? Over to the profit, go down to a 2-unit bet, and look where you are. There's your $25, right? Plus the 15 that you had to add to make that second bet. That's your $40 that you're into this hand with. You're at $100. 1, 3, 2, 4. Check it out. That's going to pay, we'll do it the right way. We'll pay $70, right? And you'll stay out there at a 4-unit bet. Put that aside. If you happen to catch the 4 for 140, we'll pay it $150 for 10. Here we go. There was your original, your $40. Okay. 100, 200, 300, and oh, look at that. $350. It's the exact same money. How about that? They all end up in the same spot. It's a matter of how do you want to view that risk. You want to go from 1, add 15 to put $40 at risk, or do you want to start with 100, take the first hit, be locked in profit, and work your way down the ladder? They both end you at the same spot. All these different streak betting, ladder systems, whatever, whether it's ratcheting up or ratcheting down the ladders, they all end up working the same in the end. You get to about the same spot, which I find insanely interesting. And let me go back over here again to my other screen. To me, it's insanely interesting. And if you go back to the bridge conversation, let's go back up here. Let's go here into the bridge. This is, hold on a second. Let me get to this view. There we go. Okay. it goes, not that one, the bridge, where's the bridge? There it is. This is where the risk piece comes in. Okay, when I talk to you about these concepts, right? A, do you have enough bankroll to play 40 units of this? Number one, that's your first dig it or dog it question, right? Your second one is the risk part of it, right? Are you willing to risk 4 units to potentially win that 9 or 10, right? And be out of profit quick? Or does your risk profile make you want to wait and go 1, 3, 2, 4 so your risk is less with the same outcome? The 1, 3, 2, 4 only works with 4 in a row. This one works with 1 in a row. You're already up in profit on the first one. So again, your bankroll, your risk, you have to filter what you see through this lens. If you don't do that, you're going to be in an emotionally bad state and have problems. That's why all this shit ties together. The bridge plus the way you're playing, it all works together. If your risk profile will not allow you to make that 4-unit bet, you cannot play a 4-unit ladder. You just can't. You're going to have to go start low and parlay your way up to it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, everybody. So it's, again, tying it all together is not always the easiest thing. So as a reminder, here's the 4-unit ladder. Start with 4 units, up on a loss, down on a win. When you're at your last one, you can identify where you are. If you're satisfied, you stop playing. If you want to keep on going, like I showed you, ratchet it up. Add a unit, add a partial unit, and go from quarters to $30. If you're at black level, go from blacks to 125. Go from 125 to 150, and keep repeating the process. If you have the bankroll, leverage it if you can. All right, there we go. Let's hit some questions and answers if we have any. Let me go ahead and see what's in the chats. Again, letter Q in front of your comment will always catch my attention. I have a way to filter those out so I can see them. Lou says this. I have not heard anything. Okay, yeah, you're right. The 26 Craps for the Cure, don't know anything about it yet. I have not yet decided when, where, or anything. If we do it, it'll be again on my birthday weekend. It'll be September 12th, that weekend, out there in Vegas. If we do it. Still deciding. And you can see, because the raffles have not been drawn yet. I told you I have to cover the money on that one, right? So the raffles, because we didn't make enough money in the raffle, I said I would personally cover the rest to make sure that we get that $2,500 minimum to the charities that was promised. I will cover that when I have it. I don't have it yet. So once I cover that, I'll make the drawing happen, and that's how it's going to work. So we're just waiting on time for that. It is what it is. So I apologize. Skill and Luck says, why does this look nothing like Jacob would do? Because Jacob doesn't do negative progressions, number one. Jacob builds his ladders typically from wins, right? Which I like. This is more of a play on a Wayland way of playing, which is a strict negative progression ladder. I just think that starting a negative progression is better when you start in the middle than when you start at the bottom, because I want to be out quick, and I would like having that target. I like knowing that when the ladder works and I'm on that last bet, I'm at goal. That last bet is your goal. You know where you hit it when you get there. So to me, that's a beautiful part of it. That's what makes this different for me, Skill. Just a different way of playing. All right, I think we got to roll. It's about 10 after 8. Time to get out of here and get to my day job. So I will leave you. What happened over there? Why did that thing go sideways? That's goofy. I'll leave you with a couple of things here. One is going to be this. Lou reminds us to stay in focus, which is to, again, we're got some weird centering issues here. Focus, follow your plan, observe the conditions, control your emotions, understand the game, stay disciplined. Boy, a lot of the things that people like Lou and me and David and Ken and of course John Patrick, it's all the same. It's all the big four and the little three guys. Knowledge of the game, emotional control, understanding bankroll, keeping things in balance, having discipline. That's where it all is, guys. It's not about the 40 roller. It's not about the ATS. It's about all this other stuff. If you catch a 40 roller, you catch an ATS in the middle of all this, bonus. Congratulations. Well done. But it's all about discipline and staying under control. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a great day. Last reminder here is this, of course, your Your inspirational quote is the same as last week because it's important. And things like I just showed you identify this, right? The idiot admires complexity. The genius admires simplicity. Keeping it simple tends to work more often than doing something complicated. Okay. We love keeping it simple. We love making things repeatable. We love not making mistakes, right? Bump on a pickle, as old Ken says, right? That shit just works. All right. Have a good Tuesday. See you tomorrow for a hump day, for a good show tomorrow, I hope, right? And again, let me know if you liked the Dig It or Dog It segment. I'll try and distill it down for future shows. But in the meantime, have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.